When I came to U of H in the fall of 2015, one of the things that I wanted to do right away was to find out what kinds of things related to Russia are being done already at the university. Come to find out that there were a lot of things. The music school is almost always playing Russian music. The theater department is putting on Russian plays. The opera program is putting on Russian operas. The timing was such that it was a year and a half from the 1917 centennial, the centennial of the Russian Revolution in 1917, which of course was a huge and significant historical event that really changed the course of the 20th century. So the idea was, over the course of 2017, the 100-year anniversary of this epochal event, to string together a series of public performances, guest lectures, courses, travel opportunities. We went to Russia with a group of students in May of 2017, and we had people involved from U of H, of course, from the city of Houston, from Main Street Theater, for instance, and we brought in faculty from Russia, from UT Austin. One of my favorite products of that series was the student symposium that we organized. This was in connection with a seminar that I taught at UH on the history of the Russian Revolution. It was a pretty big class. There were 35 students in there. All of the students in the class did a final research project based on a visual archive that's held at Stanford University of propaganda posters from the period. Out of all of those really great papers, we had a kind of competition, and a faculty committee selected 7 of the best papers from the group, and those students were then put through a rigorous process of self-editing, peer editing, me editing, and meeting with me, and preparing for oral presentations, for academic conference style oral presentations. And a bunch of people came from the university community, other students, other faculty from other departments, family members. There was a pretty good turnout.
My poster was this. It was an anti-religious propaganda poster, and it depicted the church as this octopus monster devouring women. It was particularly how religion oppresses women. I chose it because it was so intense. Because you just look at it right away, and it's this church literally devouring women. So it was kind of a metal poster. So I wrote about Soviet anti-religion in general, but I also focused on this group called the League of the Militant Godless, a party organization tasked with fighting religion and fighting religious hold on the Russian working class.
And I picked a poster, public hygiene poster, about how kids should behave at the table. And that sounds like such a mundane topic, and yes, it was on the surface. It also showed the extent to which the Soviet government, or the new communist government, was going to lengths to kind of take those responsibilities that had been left to the parent before, and I guess they didn't trust the parents in those roles, and they were trying to enculturate the peasants really quickly. So all of a sudden, all over the country, along with a really rigorous program to promote literacy, were all of these posters about how you should behave. So it's no longer the parents telling the citizens how to behave, the little citizens, it was now the state. I knew that the revolution was really big for world history, but I didn't understand how it was significant, or if it still was. And there was just, like Dr. Rainbow had announced that class, and I was able to take it, and I was out of my element, of course, because it was a history course, and I thought, I'm a music major, this is not how I've been trained to think. So I had to push myself and immerse myself in a new academic culture, kind of. But I was able to grow a lot because of that. And Dr. Rainbow helped develop an interest in Russian history that I didn't have before. Before, for me, it had been music, maybe films and ballet, and that was kind of about it. Sometimes the food, but, I mean, there's a lot of mayonnaise, so maybe not the food.
I hear that you put jokes in your presentation.
Yeah, none of them got a laugh, though. I think it was my delivery, probably, because I was very kind of focused on getting it out and checking my nervousness. It's the first. It was the first and I think only real like academic presentation that I've given, and then it dropped me right into that whole process and that whole world of academic symposia and presenting your work and everything. So as a beginning history major in my early stages of my study, it was really valuable, and it felt like we were a really tight group going through that, and the whole class, the whole Russian Revolution class. Whenever I see any of my former classmates on campus, we catch up. It's like it was the whole experience was valuable.